Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to come on here and talk for a second about my modified extruder pivot arm. I really wanted a better solution for hooking the pallet up to my printer without having to Velcro this little pad on with a sticky pad and everything. It was really not a very elegant solution, and even though there was some other solutions available both from Mosaic and just in general from Thingiverse, I really didn't like them. It seemed like it required too much modification to the extruder, or was just not a very robust solution in the first place. So I wound up just modeling from scratch in Blender the pivot arm that we're seeing here. This is version 2. The third version has some corrected geometry and everything. So here in just a second we will actually get to see it in action. So without further ado, here it is. Alright, I just got version 2 of my modified pivot arm installed on my Voxelab, and what do you know, it's actually working. Got a piece of PTFE tubing running up here all the way around my spool. So the fact that it is laying down plastic, making a duplicate of itself, it's almost becoming self-aware. Anyways, I just wanted to show that off real quick. Very pleased that it is working. Well, that was version 2, which wound up not really working all that well. It still slipped, and the spring was maxed out. It just wouldn't bite the filament hard enough to really push down on the filament. And of course, earlier you saw how that PTFE tube was wrapping around that spool of filament the way it was. I think that could have caused the spool to kind of lock against the PTFE tube because it was too long, and that could have contributed to the slipping. I did not test this setup without a PTFE tube installed, so I can't say for certain whether or not that was the cause for the slipping, or if it was strictly due to the spring not making enough bite on the filament. Regardless, I moved on from this and made a third version, which we'll take a look at here in a minute. But the third version, I believe, is going to be the final design. I don't think there's going to need to be any more modifications made to this. So really happy with the way it came out. Again, this second version here was slipping quite a bit. Even though it's pretty imperceptible, it was still most definitely slipping, and I think I'm gonna fast forward through this a little bit and show that picture now. Well, the third version is working much better so far anyway. There hasn't been any slipping. We'll see when the print finally comes off the bed. I wanted to print something else besides just more pivot arms, since it seems like I might have it finally dialed in. This was the first one I designed that had the bad geometry. This is the second one, which is just a modified version of this first one. And it too was a little off, because when this one printed this third one, you can see a lot of missed layers, and you can see where the extruder was slipping. I don't know if you can really make that out in this light, but yeah. Anyways, so we have this going down. I'm sure you can guess what that is. It's supposed to be a keychain, but it looks massive. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna continue watching this and see how well it goes, and check back in with it later. One last modification to this is I have taken the stock screw that was holding the idle pulley in place out and replaced it with a screw that's a little more robust and longer. The stock screw is very shallow and only held on by a couple threads. Surprised it held on as long as it did, actually, but I put a wood screw in there that was cut to length, and that is holding most excellently. Anyway, just wanted a quick update on that. And so there it is. Here's the final print, and it actually looks pretty good, and I think you could gouge someone's eyes out with it. No shifting layers or none of that. I think we finally got my slippage situation under control. We're printing another one of these out right now in pink, and I'll see how it looks later. I may or may not throw a picture of it into the mix here because I think I've said enough. But yeah, that's my modded pivot arm for accepting Bowden tubes. Let me know what you think, and if you like the idea or have any other ideas that you think I might be able to try out, feel free to jump down in the comments, leave a like, leave a subscribe. Again, I plan on doing all kinds of things. I really can't peg myself into a corner as to what this channel is going to be about. I don't even know what I'm going to call this channel yet. So if anybody has any ideas as far as that's concerned, feel free to let me know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I will see y'all again in the future. Have a great one.